Hey, hi Nagraj, how are you doing?
Hey, hi Prashik. I'm good. How are you?
All good, all good. So, congratulations, firstly, that you have cracked the PM interview. So,
Yeah.
just wanted to understand and hear it. How did it go through? How was the entire process? And at what company you actually cracked this? So, just tell us a little brief about yourself and the process which has happened for you.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm Nagraj. I was working as a software developer for almost 3 years, and I have recently transitioned into product. It was an internet transition. I'm currently working as a APM at Infinity Learn. It's a edtech platform. Yeah. So
Like, if you
I
like want
think
to
I
take
just
us through, how did you find Prodomaniacs, and then you attended a boot camp for cracking the PM interview, and I think our sessions went long, but let's say I
yeah.
think it went on 3 hour session went on to 6 hour session because it was our very first. But I think later on also
Yeah.
you attended few of our cohorts for cracking the PM interview. So how did that material really help you in approaching the PM interviews? And then how, like, what were the rounds which happened for you, and how did you really crack them? How did you really approach them? That should help.
Yeah. When I decided I want to move to product, I joined random multiple product communities. That's where I found you. We had one impromptu session late night at 10 where we were just discussing on, around product management. That's when I got to know that about Product Maniacs and what you're doing for the community. So that's when I was shocked if this guy is genuine. So after a few weeks, you had launched the first cracking the interviews PM interview session on the weekend. That was the first cohort which I joined. I was a part of the first cohort, and there we discussed everything around product, on how to get into it, how to approach the interviews and stuff, and yeah. So that was the first session I attended for Prodomania. I have also completed my product management fellowship outside. That was just to understand if product is really for me or not. I learned everything about product management there, but learning about product management and cracking the interviews are two different things.
Yeah.
So just by knowing about product management doesn't you can be a great product manager, but you might not be capable enough to crack the interviews because they are two separate parts
Yeah.
of product. So yeah. In the product cracking the product interviews, the session which you've done, there you had shared few mind maps. That was really helpful. That was a game changer for me because I knew all those terms and how product works, how to approach. I knew those things, but for cracking the interviews, we had the approach which you have given, the mind maps on how to approach a problem and how to land to the true problem and how to find a solution for that. So those mind maps which you have given, those went really handful for me. So I'll just talk about my interview experience on what were the rounds. So as it was an internal transition of product, I knew what were the rounds. I had 3 rounds of interviews, and I knew in each round what was supposed to be asked. So my first round was for product sense round, where we have that. What's your favorite product and how will you improve it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that kind of a round. So I knew that these are the possible questions which I would be asked. So I was a bit prepared for it. I was prepared for like my choice of my two favorite apps, which I knew that the interviewer might not that be familiar with that particular apps. I was like, ठीक है, if he's not that aware of those apps, it would be easy for me to answer the. It would be I'll be able to drive the conversation.
Correct, correct.
But it went like that. When I talked about my products, he was like, "No, let's choose some other product which we both are familiar with."
Okay.
So we chose music streaming application in general. After some discussion, we took a specific application, YouTube Music, and we had a discussion over that, like all those user personas and what it is really solving, the music streaming platform. The thing is, I was actually prepared for, like straightforward questions, like tell me the user personas, or tell me the pain points as well. But the interview was, he was like, he was not asking straightforward questions, which I was not prepared for, to be honest.
Got it.
Uh, Indirectly, he was asking what was it solving and how was it solving the problems and all those things, where I was a bit mumbling, but it went on well. I
Okay.
was able to approach the problem. See, as I'm a software developer, I was a hardcore software developer. I just had the product instinct, but the approach of solving the problem is what interviewers expect from us.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I used those mind maps which you had given and tracking the interview sessions. So I had those, approach. I mean, step-by-step approach written all over the,
Wow.
sticky notes
Yeah.
during my interviews. So whenever any problem statement was given to me, I just go through those points one by one, and I was able to, reach to the problem, and and I was, because approach matters. No matter how great solutions you give to them,
Yeah.
the approach matters to the interviewer.
Yeah.
Even if the solutions are not that good, because at the end of the day, user just want the problem to be solved. They don't want the unique features to
Yeah.
be
Of
on.
course. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was the first round. It was product sense round. So I cracked that, and the second round was it was a case study round.
Okay.
So I was told that we will be solving any particular case study around any random topic. But as the interview started, because I had previously worked on two of my products when I was in my engineering. One was a student community platform, and the second one was animal adoption and fundraising platform. So when the interviewer got to know that I had already worked on a product, so he was like, "Okay, let's not solve the case study. We'll talk about the product which you have built." So, so we started. He chose the animal adoption and fundraising platform, and he asked me the questions all around that particular product, on how I approached the problem, how did I do the user surveys, and how did I land to those particular features in specific.
Got it.
So second round was all about my product which I had built, and he was coming up with few scenarios on how to understand how will I tackle those situations in real life. He was
Yeah.
just wanted to trying to understand my approach to the real life problems. That was the second round of interview, and the third round was the final round. It was with the product head of Infinity Learn. That was very generic round, just a product fit round to know if I'm really fit for the Infinity Learns culture or not. There was no specific product questions as such. It was very general. I was being asked physics questions. I was being asked like, what is a bike and why do you use it? Like very in general. We can't be just prepared for the specific set of questions.
Yeah.
We have to be, have that approach of defining a product, or solving the problem. The approach is needed.
Yeah.
So the final round was more about that. He was expecting me to, talk like a product manager.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. I think, see,
Yeah. So
even when you did the second round, you mentioned, so you talked about the product which you have already built, and that's what we do in another cohorts where we do the becoming, a full stack product manager cohorts, which we have just completed one. In that, we try to build your own product so that it's better to talk about rather than talking about any other scenario or a case study from a different company. So we are focusing on building your own products wherein you can, because you are the owner of the product, and you can twist and turn and talk about whatever you want around that. So that is again would play a key role in these folks who are going to wanted to make a transition from the previous cohort. And second
yeah,
of it
exactly.
is like the third round which happened is again I think I talked about both the things. One was cracking the PM interview questions, and second is how to really approach, how to really uh, what do you say, take a lead in the interviews, right? And that should of course help in terms of, whenever, like, irrespective of whom you are talking to, because all my life I've worked with CXOs and I pretty much understand, their mindset, little bit of it, but not everything. But at least, once you start giving such interviews, you feel a little bit confident because you get to talk with, such great minds, and then, your mindset also changes. So yeah, pretty much I think, well done, very congratulations to you. And this is of course our first success stories. I think few of them are still in pipeline. I am in talks with them, but yeah, very congratulations, and I hope, you get up the ladders very soon, PM and senior PM, and, any, like, this company, any other company you will be, and I, of course, you'll be doing great. So last keywords, if you want to mention on to, folks who are looking to crack the PM interview, and why they should, do my cohort if given the chance.
Right. So I'll tell you how Prodomaniac's approach helped me here. While preparing for interviews, like just when I was starting my preparation, that was the exact time you launched the first cohort of cracking the PM interviews.
Yeah.
So that was, a leap for me, because if I went on to, research by myself and then learn, it would have taken like at least 2 to 3 months just for the preparation.
Yeah.
But the approach which you had given, in just 1 or 2 sessions, that was really helpful for me. So I'll tell you how I prepared for my interviews. After our first session, the first cohort, we had the mind maps. We had all those approaches. I had the understanding okay, how I should approach a problem, on any given problem, to be specific. So I watched random videos on random mock interviews. I just used to listen to the question, and I used to write down all the answers by myself,
Yeah.
and then watch the rest of the part of it. So that helped me to evaluate myself on what they were expecting and how I was doing it.
Correct.
So I did it for like 8 or 10 mock interviews, and I was good to go. And even in your cohort sessions also, after the discussion at the end, you usually take the mock interviews.
Yeah.
If you remember, I was completely blank for the first time when I had
Yeah.
in a cohort one.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But after that, although with those mind maps and all, when I practiced, it was really easy for me.
Yeah, you get that confidence. Earlier, like, people are like, what to say now? If question is asked, like, they get blank, and it happens with most of them. Even it happened with me, when I started off, giving interviews at an early stage. But now I feel that, okay, given the any question, that, you still have to brainstorm on it. You can't just, shy away from it, and then you will have to just jump into it, get into the problem, get dirty, and then, try to solve it. But yeah, of course, and that's what
Along
it
with
is.
that, yeah. Also,
Yeah.
the thing is, I was a hardcore developer, so I had that privilege to build an app by myself when I was in my engineering itself.
Yeah.
But there are many people out there with a non-tech background want to move to product. So I highly recommend Prodomaniacs, because there are very few cohorts out there, who actually build something during their fellowship.
Yeah.
And you are doing that in your cohort.
Yeah.
So just by having something of your own in the interviews, that really, because that's how I cracked my second interview.
Yeah.
And in all of my rounds, I was mentioning to them that I have already built the product, and that's
Correct.
actually a plus point.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend doing that one.
Yeah, of course, because even I felt that a lot of people do the product teardowns and case studies around, different companies. That should not help. Like, that is good to have, like, just if you want to make a portfolio, that, you have a thought process to think through, but no one has time to actually read through that. But if you go and talk into the interviews that, I have built product, I have worked on an idea, if you want to, listen it out, I can tell you have to always pitch and be a good salesperson, is what I feel, right? So, and if you can, like, if they get indulged in that idea, because everyone wants to hear a new idea, don't want to hear Swiggy, Zomato, and other stuff every single time. So yeah, I think rightly mentioned there. And like, of course, we are going to launch the second cohort in January. We are prepping on on the good content now, and trying to bring in more case studies to it. But of course, I think I don't get much of my time to do the cracking the PM interview uh, cohorts. But now that we have completed first of our cohort, then of course I'll be doing. And soon we'll be launching the self-paced course to the cracking the PM interview. But I still strongly believe that live sessions will be of great help. But few folks can't always make it to the live session. For them, the self-paced program should help. So yeah, of course. Thank you, Nagraj, for being here. Thank you for the kind words, and hope to see you around. And very all the best for your current endeavors.
Yes. Thanks, Rashid. Thanks for Prodomaniacs.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Okay, man. Bye, bye.